Stories and Documentary Network.
What if the first civilization emerged not on a mountaintop, not by the sea, but in the marshes of a river delta? In southern Mesopotamia, humans built cities where none had existed before. Clay tablets recorded kings, and distant wars. Massive mud brick structures reached toward the sky, symbols of ambition and ingenuity. Irrigation carved life from a desert landscape, turning unpredictable rivers into reliable sources of food. Archaeologists have uncovered cities buried beneath layers of silt, some dating back more than 5,000 years. Trade routes carried metals, precious stones, and timber from distant lands, connecting city-states across hundreds of miles. Yet much of Sumer's story is hidden in undeciphered inscriptions and ruins swallowed by time. How did people transform mud and reeds into cities that defined human civilization? The answer lies in Sumer, a civilization that invented writing, law, and organized society itself. The Sumerians settled in southern Mesopotamia, the fertile land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, around 4,500 BCE. This region, prone to seasonal flooding, was ideal for early agriculture. Archaeological evidence shows the rise of small settlements such as Eridu, Uruk, and Ur, which eventually became the first city-states in human history. Agriculture was the foundation of Sumerian civilization. Farmers cultivated barley and wheat, supplemented by dates, figs, and vegetables. Domesticated animals, including cattle, sheep, and goats, provided labor, milk, and meat. Irrigation allowed consistent harvests, transforming marshes and floodplains into arable land. Canals, dikes, and reservoirs controlled water flow, enabling villages to support growing populations. Surplus food created opportunities for specialization, allowing a division of labor and the rise of artisans, merchants, and priests. Eridu is considered the earliest city, founded around 5,400 BCE. Its first structures were simple mud brick temples dedicated to Enki, the god of water and wisdom. Over centuries, these temples expanded into complex ziggurats, towering structures combining religious, administrative, and storage functions. Ziggurats were both symbols of divine authority and centers of civic life, reflecting the integration of religion and governance. Trade played a crucial role in the growth of Sumer. Archaeologists have found lapis lazuli from Afghanistan, copper from Oman, and timber from the Zagros Mountains, demonstrating long-distance exchange networks. These resources were essential for tool-making, construction, and luxury goods. Trade connected Sumerian cities to distant regions, enabling economic prosperity and cultural exchange. By 3100 BCE, Uruk had become the largest Sumerian city, with an estimated population of 40,000 to 50,000. Its expansion coincided with the invention of writing. Proto-cuneiform, etched onto clay tablets, recorded economic transactions, labor assignments, and administrative details. Writing soon evolved to document laws, religious rituals, and historical events, creating the first permanent record of human civilization. Religion was central to Sumerian society. Each city-state had a patron deity, and temples served as both spiritual and administrative hubs. Priests managed food storage, trade, and legal matters, wielding political power alongside kings. The ziggurat symbolized the connection between the city, its rulers, and the divine, reinforcing social hierarchy and communal identity. Sumerian society was hierarchical and organized. Kings, or Ensi, ruled city-states under the guidance of the gods. Priests, scribes, artisans, and merchants formed an educated elite, while farmers and laborers made up the majority of the population. This structured social order allowed large-scale projects, including city walls, canals, and monumental architecture. Early legal frameworks helped maintain order. Tablets from Uruk and Lagash detail contracts, property transfers, and labor obligations. These laws established accountability, regulated economic transactions, and preserved social stability. Urban planning was also evident. Streets were organized around temples, workshops, and homes, creating functional cities with designated residential, religious, and commercial areas. By the end of the 4th millennium BCE, Sumerian city-states had become fully functional civilizations. They combined agriculture, trade, governance, religion, and technology into a cohesive system capable of sustaining large populations. Innovation and adaptation were key. Marshes became farmland, reeds became permanent housing, and informal leadership evolved into structured governance. Cultural continuity was preserved through writing, monumental architecture, and religious practices. Temples not only served spiritual needs, but acted as administrative centers, reinforcing authority and organizing labor. Trade networks connected Sumer with distant regions, enabling access to essential materials and fostering economic growth. The hidden origins of Sumer demonstrate human ingenuity. In a challenging environment prone to flooding and drought, early communities transformed their surroundings, established order, and created a society that would influence every civilization that followed. From mud and reeds, the Sumerians built the foundations of urban life, law, and recorded history. Even now, buried cities and undeciphered tablets hint at a past more complex than we fully understand. The first civilization was not born in isolation. It arose through adaptation, innovation, and organization, a civilization that laid the groundwork for all human society that followed. Sumer's rise was defined by innovation in technology, administration, and culture. Around 3,500 BCE, the wheel revolutionized transport. Wheeled carts moved bulk goods across land, while reed boats navigated the Tigris and Euphrates, connecting distant cities. Pottery wheels enabled mass production of containers, improving storage and trade efficiency. Bronze metallurgy transformed daily life and warfare. By combining copper and tin, Sumerians produced tools, weapons, and ceremonial objects stronger than those made of stone. Axes, knives, spears, and sickles became more durable, increasing productivity in agriculture and efficiency in conflict. Bronze also facilitated monumental construction, from ziggurats to city walls. Writing, initially developed for accounting, evolved into cuneiform by 3100 BCE. Clay tablets recorded trade, taxation, and labor assignments. As writing advanced, it documented laws, myths, medicine, and astronomy. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the earliest known literary works, explored human ambition, mortality, and the relationship between gods and men. Scribes became essential for governance, preserving knowledge and ensuring continuity across generations. Legal innovation accompanied these developments. Early codes, predating Hammurabi, regulated property, labor, trade, and social behavior. Texts from Uruk and Lagash show restitution for theft, compensation for injury, and property rights enforcement. These laws established societal order and accountability, reflecting a growing sophistication in civic management. Agriculture remained the backbone of Sumerian power. Extensive irrigation networks allowed multiple harvests each year, feeding growing populations. Coordinated labor for canals, levees, and reservoirs strengthened city-state organization, reinforcing the authority of kings and priesthoods. Surplus production enabled specialization in crafts, trade, and religious duties. Religion and governance were intertwined. Temples were central to city life, serving as centers for worship, administration, and resource storage. Priests managed grain, trade, and civic projects, wielding both spiritual and political influence. Kingship was legitimized through divine endorsement, centralizing power and providing stability across city-states. Trade networks connected Sumer to distant regions. Lapis lazuli from Afghanistan, copper from Oman, and carnelian from India reached Sumerian cities, illustrating extensive commerce. Standardized weights and measures facilitated trade, taxation, and record-keeping. Markets and caravan routes spread not only goods but also ideas, technologies, and cultural practices. Warfare shaped political power. City-states frequently clashed over water, territory, and trade routes. Fortifications, including mud brick walls and defensive towers, protected urban centers. Armies armed with spears, axes, slings, and composite bows were organized for both defense and expansion. Leadership required strategic planning, resource management, and coordination of labor, demonstrating early military sophistication. Mathematics and astronomy advanced alongside practical needs. Sumerians developed a sexagesimal system, forming the foundation of modern timekeeping and geometry. Astronomical observations guided agricultural planning, festivals, and rituals. Knowledge was systematically recorded on clay tablets, creating an intellectual tradition that outlasted Sumer's political power. Cultural innovations extended to art and music. Cylinder seals engraved with intricate designs authenticated property and trade documents. Sculptures and reliefs depicted gods, kings, and mythological scenes. Music accompanied ceremonies and work, reinforcing social cohesion and religious devotion. Sumer's rise illustrates a civilization that transformed its environment, structured society, and extended influence through technology, trade, and culture. Even at its height, city-states navigated environmental pressures, political tension, and social challenges. Yet despite these challenges, Sumerian innovations endured, laying the groundwork for subsequent empires across Mesopotamia. Sumerian architecture combined practicality with symbolism. Cities were organized around central temples, residential districts, workshops, and defensive walls. Houses were built from sun-dried mud bricks, flat-roofed, with courtyards for rainwater collection. Streets followed organic patterns, reflecting gradual urban growth. The ziggurat was the architectural centerpiece. Composed of stepped terraces, these structures were built using sun-dried and kiln-fired bricks. Some ziggurats reached heights exceeding 30 meters, serving as religious, administrative, and storage centers. Grain, oil, and ceremonial offerings were kept within, blending practical and spiritual functions. The ziggurat visually reinforced the authority of both rulers and priests, symbolizing the link between humanity and the divine. Irrigation infrastructure demonstrated advanced engineering. Canals, levees, and reservoirs controlled river floods and distributed water across farmland. Coordinated construction and maintenance of these systems required centralized governance and collective labor. Agricultural productivity increased, allowing population growth and urban expansion. Sumerians mastered metallurgy. Bronze tools, weapons, and ritual objects were produced using early smelting techniques. Copper and tin were traded over long distances, supporting both industry and luxury goods. Advanced tools enabled construction of temples, city walls, and canals with unprecedented efficiency. Transport relied on rivers and roads. Reed boats carried grain, timber, and trade goods along the Tigris and Euphrates. Wheeled carts transported bulk materials across land. Standardized weights and measures enabled fair trade, taxation, and administration, reflecting early bureaucratic systems. Administrative and numerical systems were highly sophisticated. Clay tablets recorded cuneiform writing, accounting, taxation, and legal matters. The sexagesimal system provided the foundation for geometry, astronomy, and timekeeping. Records were meticulously preserved, ensuring continuity of knowledge across generations. Sumerian cities incorporated defensive architecture. Massive mud brick walls surrounded urban centers, often with towers at intervals. Fortifications protected inhabitants from rival city-states and nomadic incursions. Gateways controlled access, and watchtowers provided surveillance over surrounding areas. Religious architecture reinforced governance. Temples served as centers of administration, storage, and worship. Ziggurats symbolized divine order, with priests overseeing rituals, resources, and education. These structures exemplified the integration of religion, politics, and urban planning. Technological innovation extended to water management, construction, and trade logistics. Irrigation systems, roads, and canals increased efficiency and allowed urban centers to thrive. Metallurgy and craft specialization enhanced productivity and economic resilience. Sumerians transformed natural resources into tools, monuments, and written records that outlasted their civilization. Sumerian architecture and systems reflected a society that combined environmental adaptation, technological ingenuity, and centralized governance. Cities were functional, resilient, and symbolic. Even today, ruins of ziggurats, canals, and houses offer a glimpse into the advanced engineering and organizational skill of the world's first urban civilization. Despite the precision and scale of their cities, many aspects of Sumerian life remain hidden. Undeciphered tablets, lost rituals, and buried urban layers hint at knowledge and practices that we may never fully recover. The physical structures remain, but much of the lived experience of Sumerians lies beneath layers of soil, awaiting discovery. Sumer's architecture, technology, and administrative systems laid the groundwork for later Mesopotamian empires. Their innovations in urban planning, irrigation, metallurgy, writing, and bureaucracy influenced Akkad, Babylon, and Assyria, shaping the trajectory of human civilization for millennia. Life in Sumer revolved around work, family, and devotion. Farmers cultivated barley, wheat, and vegetables, relying on irrigation canals to feed their communities. Domesticated animals provided labor, food, and materials. Labor was organized by city-state authorities, who allocated fields, controlled water distribution, and coordinated harvests. Artisans and craftsmen produced pottery, textiles, tools, and jewelry. Pottery was both functional and decorative, while textiles, often wool or flax, were dyed and woven for clothing, trade, and ceremonial purposes. Metalworkers shaped bronze into tools, weapons, and ritual objects, reflecting both utility and status. Trade was central to Sumerian life. Markets facilitated the exchange of grain, crafts, and imported materials like timber, copper, and lapis lazuli. Merchants traveled by river and road, using standardized weights and measures. Trade not only enriched cities but connected Sumer to distant cultures, spreading ideas and technology. Religion permeated daily life. Sumerians worshipped a pantheon of gods associated with natural forces and city patronage. Temples were centers for ritual, administration, and storage. Priests oversaw offerings, sacrifices, and divination practices using clay oracles. Kings claimed divine approval, legitimizing political authority through religious association. Education focused on scribal training. Boys of elite families attended adubas, or scribal schools, where they learned cuneiform, arithmetic, and record-keeping. Literacy allowed participation in administration, trade, and religious duties, ensuring the continuity of knowledge and governance. Social hierarchy was pronounced. Kings and priests occupied the top tier, followed by merchants, artisans, and farmers. Slaves, often war captives or debtors, performed labor-intensive tasks. This stratification allowed the efficient functioning of urban life, balancing production, administration, and defense. Art and culture reflected both daily life and spirituality. Cylinder seals engraved with intricate designs authenticated documents and property. Sculptures, reliefs, and painted murals depicted gods, king, and mythological scenes. Music accompanied rituals, work, and entertainment, reinforcing social cohesion. Sumerian literature preserved both history and imagination. The Epic of Gilgamesh explored mortality, heroism, and divine relationships. Administrative texts recorded contracts, trade, and legal agreements. Medical tablets documented remedies, demonstrating empirical observation alongside spiritual practices. Ceremonial life structured the year. Festivals, harvest rituals, and temple celebrations aligned with lunar and solar cycles, integrating agriculture, religion, and civic identity. Ziggurats served as the focal points for communal devotion, storage, and administration. Despite their urban sophistication, Sumerians faced environmental uncertainty. Seasonal floods, droughts, and soil salinization influenced agricultural output and labor demands. Adaptation was constant. Canals were repaired, fields rotated, and surplus stored for scarcity. The daily lives of Sumerians reveal a civilization that balanced practicality with spirituality, labor with art, and local needs with long-distance connections. Their achievements in literacy, administration, and religion created social cohesion while allowing innovation to flourish. Even buried beneath layers of soil, the remnants of homes, temples, and artifacts speak to a complex and resilient society. Yet many mysteries remain. Undeciphered tablets, lost rituals, and unexcavated ruins hint at aspects of culture that may never be fully recovered. How did Sumerians understand their cosmos? What stories, laws, and knowledge remain hidden in the clay that survived millennia? By 2000 BCE, the power of Sumerian city-states was waning. Environmental pressures, including salinization of soil and unpredictable river flows, reduced agricultural yields. Water management became increasingly difficult, threatening food security and population stability. Political instability compounded these challenges. City-states, once independent and thriving, fought over water rights, trade routes, and territorial boundaries. Lagash, Ur, and Uruk were repeatedly contested, leading to weakened governance and disrupted trade networks. External pressures intensified decline. Amorite and Akkadian incursions challenged city-state autonomy, while internal disputes strained centralized authority. Despite decline, Sumerian influence persisted. The Akkadian Empire adopted cuneiform, administrative practices, and legal frameworks from Sumer. Religious beliefs, myths, and literature continued to shape Mesopotamian culture. The Epic of Gilgamesh, temple practices, and bureaucratic systems endured beyond political collapse, influencing Babylonia, Assyria, and even later civilizations. Archaeological evidence reveals abandoned cities buried beneath silt, preserving temples, homes, and artifacts. Excavated tablets provide insight into daily life, trade, law, and belief systems, yet much of Sumerian civilization remains undeciphered. These fragments hint at knowledge and practices lost to time. The reasons for collapse are complex. Environmental degradation, social unrest, and warfare intersected, creating a fragile system vulnerable to disruption. Historical records suggest famine, labor shortages, and conflict, yet the human experiences behind these events remain largely silent. Sumer's disappearance demonstrates the vulnerability of even the earliest civilizations. Their technological and administrative achievements persisted, but the people themselves became shadows beneath the soil. The city-states that once dominated southern Mesopotamia left a legacy embedded in writing, law, and architecture, but the details of daily human experience remain incomplete. Questions endure. How did Sumerian innovations spread to neighboring regions? What knowledge did they possess that has been lost to time? Were there social or religious practices that could have altered their trajectory if preserved? The collapse of Sumer is both a cautionary tale and a testament to endurance. While their cities fell, the ideas, tools, and cultural innovations they developed endured, influencing civilizations for thousands of years. Their story is a reminder that progress is fragile, yet knowledge and ingenuity can survive beyond the lifespan of empires. Even in ruins, Sumer's presence is palpable. Clay tablets, ziggurats, and streets, buried under centuries of sediment, continue to speak of human ambition, adaptation, and creativity. The civilization that first defined urban life, law, and writing remains, partly visible, partly mysterious, a shadowed legacy that continues to shape the story of humanity. Today, the ruins of Ur, Eridu, and Uruk rise quietly from the plains of southern Mesopotamia. Clay tablets, ziggurats, and sun-baked streets stand as silent witnesses to a civilization that built cities from mud and ambition. The Sumerians invented writing, law, and complex administration, yet their voices echo faintly through time. The rivers that once nourished their fields now wash over the remnants of their ingenuity. Temples and homes crumble, but the ideas they forged, urban planning, trade networks, numerical systems, and cultural innovations persist, shaping human civilization long after the last king fell. In the stillness of these ancient cities, the question remains: how did the world's first civilization transform human society so profoundly, and what secrets still lie buried beneath the soil, waiting to reveal the ambitions, knowledge, and lives of those who came before us?